Last of Us Factions is gonna be bigger than Halo Infinite. At least Factions will have more maps than Halo Infinite. When Factions releases, it's over for COD. The Last of Us Factions 2 is
Factions
gonna
will
be
launch
great
before
and not
Starfield.
many people
Remember
know
this
Part
Titan
1
box.
The
The
Last of Us Part 2 is
on
only
the
out
stage
for the last
Super
few
Halo
years
Factions
back
will
when they
launch
wanted
Titan
products
box.
from Microsoft just because
Titan
Halo
will
Infinite
launch
X revision
Titan
and has
box.
troubled
Halo,
development
Gears, and
has
Forza.
nothing to do with
So
Naughty Dog.
that's why
Imagine
Microsoft
Bethesda
Bethesda
and
and
Halo
Halo
came
last
to
year
get games that were already coming to Xbox.
What's this? I go on a trip for like 3 days and they cancel The Last of Us Factions 2, which, by the way, nobody apparently saw coming. You know, PlayStation fanboys are shocked. This game, whose development was put on like indefinite hold for 3 years, got cancelled. And it is somehow a surprise to PlayStation fanboys. I don't really get it. They're right now on Twitter, both crying about it because it's the worst thing that ever happened, and also trying to justify it and pretend it's a good thing that they cancelled The Last of Us Factions 2. It's absolutely hilarious. But one of the funniest things that happened out of this is that J-Dub had made this tweet like months ago saying that The Last of Us Factions 2 would come out before Starfield. Mark his words. Which was already fucking stupid. Starfield got like what, delayed a couple of months. Last of Us Factions 2 was delayed like what, 1-2 years? It's insane to say that it was gonna come out before. But anyway, Fratanga basically said, hey, this shit's not gonna happen, and when it doesn't happen, I'm gonna frame your stupid tweet on my wall. And then he did. Kinda petty, but also really fucking funny. Especially very funny because of the reaction that PlayStation fanboys gave to this, which was way too serious.
Did this mofo hang a picture of me and my tweet on his home wall? We knew he was a weirdo, a cuck, and a basement dweller. But damn, this takes the cake.
And there were lots of PlayStation fanboys that were reacting like this to Fritanga just hanging up the picture on his wall, even roasting the wall. J-Dub made several tweets about it. It's just so fucking funny that they get so angry over literally nothing. Someone hung a picture of your tweet on the wall. You could have just gone like, wow, that's mature and not funny. And that would have been it, but no, you have to act like you always do and just make a big fucking fuss about it on Twitter. Kinda make a fool out of yourself, man. Now let's get into some more delusional PlayStation fanboys.
The writing has been on the wall for The Last of Us Online after recent reports about it, and so this formal cancellation isn't a surprise. I certainly don't mind Naughty Dog continuing to focus on what it does best, making incredible single-player games.
Okay, so now we're like justifying it, so like, oh well, it doesn't matter if they cancel this project after 4 years, because they're just gonna continue making single-player games. And that is actually Naughty Dog's official statement, is that they had to cancel this project in order to spend more time and focus on their single-player games, and they couldn't keep this game going. Like, if they made this game and released it, their official statement was, our entire studio will have to constantly keep supporting it, otherwise it will die, and that isn't worth it. But that's bullshit. You're the biggest developer at PlayStation, which is the biggest like console brand. How the fuck don't you have either enough people to keep it going, enough money to hire people to keep it going? Like, it's insane that you can, like, you guys have a TV show about your video game. You've got money, you've got resources, you can hire more people if for some reason your studio doesn't have enough to keep the game going and make single player games. It's complete bullshit. It's a fucking lie. They just canceled this shit because they realized it was gonna suck, and now they're making up excuses in order to save face.
No surprise there. Glad they didn't end up releasing a bad game.
See, this is kind of funny. It's kind of funny how PlayStation cancels a game, and it's good. It's good news. They cancel the game, everyone's happy. Yay, this game I've been waiting for like 3 years got cancelled. Now it won't be bad or whatever. Which is really odd, because whenever Xbox cancels a game, it's funny as fuck, right? They need to make fun of it. Why did Microsoft only cancels games, blah blah blah. But when Sony does it, it's the best thing ever, I guess, when you don't get games. It doesn't really make sense.
So Naughty Dog cancels a game because they're afraid the quality won't live up to what PlayStation fans expect and want to focus on what fans love. Meanwhile, over at Xbox, shove that shit out of the door.
It's kind of funny that he shows 4 games that kind of gotten, like 2 of them have gotten very bad reactions, 2 of them have gotten mixed reactions, but he doesn't show any of the good Xbox games that have gotten good reactions. Like, I could do the exact same shit and be like, Forspoken should have been cancelled, right? But then that doesn't count because PlayStation fanboys will come up with some reason why that doesn't count. I'm just saying you could do the same shit with PlayStation games, just pick 4 like bad ones that released in the last like year, 2 years, because they didn't release anything this year, But and just be like, oh, they shove all this bad shit out of the door. Like, you can do that with any company. On top of that is the fact that like Redfall is very similar to The Last of Us Factions 2, because it was originally supposed to be a live service game, and then developers were like, no, we don't want to make a live service game, but they were forced to, and then last second they were able to change it to a co-op game, and they tried to save the game, but it flopped anyway. Like, it ended up being shit, right? And I'm assuming a similar thing happened with Last of Us Factions 2, except for that they cancelled it. Instead of trying to save it, they cancelled it, which I guess is kind of the right move. But if Redfall had been cancelled for the exact same reason that Last of Us Online was cancelled right now, PlayStation fanboys to this day would be shitting on that, and would have been making fun of the decision to cancel Redfall. Like, the hypocrisy here is like just rules for thee but not for me.
Naughty Dog has officially cancelled The Last of Us Online. The way it went on ice felt like cancellation was coming. If it helps them focus on what they do best, then I'm all for it. As they said previously, let them cook.
Motherfucker, they've been cooking for 3, almost 4 years, and it ended in complete disappointment and cancellation. It was a disaster, and then disaster, them cooking. I will also point out now that since 2020, which is when Naughty Dog released The Last of Us Part 2, they haven't released a single other original game or announced a single other original game. All they have announced are remakes of Uncharted, remakes of the original Last of Us, and even a remake of Last of Us Part 2, which came out only 3 years ago. That is our games. Those are their new games. Remakes of their old games. At least this would have been something new, right? But we're not getting anything new. We're just getting remakes, and then their new, sort of new, it's still kind of a sequel to Factions, gets cancelled. But hey, at least you can play Uncharted 2 again if you want to.
Naughty Dog decides on their own before the live service push from Sony to separate Factions 2 as a standalone. They've also decided on their own to not become a live service studio. But Sony doesn't know what they're doing, and their live service plan is failing. Got it.
Yes, Sony doesn't know what they're doing and their live service plan is failing. That's literally what it means when their live service games are getting cancelled. This isn't the first one. I don't know, is this like the 4th live service game from Sony that's getting cancelled? Their live service plan and push is failing, because the studios don't want to make live service games, and when they are making them, they get cancelled. That's what it means when it's failing, is when it isn't doing well, or isn't happening, or, you know, is failing. You are so fucking stupid, Reforged Gaming. You have like 3 brain cells, and they're all like in your massive fucking forehead, not being able to connect to each other because the space is so vast. Sony's live service plan is failing because they got no live service games. Because every single live service game they make gets cancelled. Anyway, boys, I think I'm ending the video here. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. If you haven't noticed yet, I am uploading a lot. Okay, I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying to upload at least 3 times a week. But if you want more videos like this and you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Really helps me out, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.